Hey guys, Psycho here again. Now today, because it is a special day, we have finally hit 300 subscribers. I thank each and every one of you for that. And for the special video, we're going to do a how-to on gold recovery. Yes, finally, gold recovery. Now, I'm not actually going to put the process into production today. I'm just basically going to go over an overview of what we're going to do and just kind of go over stuff. Because one thing I noticed with a lot of gold recovery videos, especially when it's like people overseas that are doing it, they don't tell you what they're doing. They don't tell you what chemicals they're using, anything. And it's just a big guessing game, and it's very hard to understand. I do realize there's a couple people on YouTube now that's gone over it and whatnot, but I'm going to do it too because, well, this is my first time doing it, so why not? So here's an outlook of the chemicals we're going to use. We are going to use, and I'm going to say the names wrong on some of this, you guys don't hate me for it, but it's muriatic acid or something like that. Basically all it is hydrochloric acid. It's just diluted, and they dilute it to 31% or 31.5%. This stuff here you can get at like Home Hardware, Canadian Tire. It's pretty common, and that's why a lot of people go this method, because it is readily available. Hydrogen peroxide, 3%, very easy to get. Bleach, $1.25, very easy to get. This was $14.99. Again, this is sodium metabucifite. I don't know if I'm saying that right again, guys. I had to get this off Amazon. I know there's places around that sell this, but I just seen it on there and they were doing a sale, so I think I got this for under 20 bucks for a pound. I'm not real sure, but I know I didn't pay a lot for it. Basically all the chemicals I'm at around 30 bucks, so not too bad. So this process is called acid peroxide, and I know some of the gurus here, they hate when people call it that. They rather the actual chemical compound it is, but I don't remember what it is, so that's what I'm going to call it. But that's basically what people call it, is acid peroxide AP. Now this method is good for your basic gold recovery, like these fingers. And I'm going to explain why it works. So basically, on a gold finger, you have gold and then you have copper in behind it. Now, the reason they put, like, the copper is cheap and it's conductive, it works. But the problem with copper is that it oxidizes. And I'll give you an example here. This copper is treated with a varnish, and you can see that it stayed shiny. You know, it's not going to change color at all. You look at this old pipe, it's already turned green, it's oxidized, and it don't look nothing like this one. So basically, in order to keep copper like this, they got to put a varnish on it, and that's not good for like electronics where something has to touch something else and make a connection. You can't use a varnish. And if you don't use nothing, then it's going to corrode and it's going to do the same thing anyways. So that's the downside of copper. So they figured out that if they put gold on it, like so, then it won't oxidize and you have a nice clean connection. So that's the reason behind it. So if we use this acid and we mix in a little bit of hydrogen peroxide, it'll eat the copper from behind it and it'll loosen up and it'll release the gold. Now, the one thing I'm going to say here is this process here is not too dangerous other than getting it on yourself. The bad process is when you mix the acid with the bleach. When you get to the next step, when you just got the gold foils floating around and you got to dissolve the gold itself, when you mix these two, you're making a substance called chlorine gas. Now the chlorine is used to dissolve the gold and you need it. But the chlorine gas, the fumes that it gives off of, is highly toxic, and if you breathe enough of it in, guys, it'll kill you. There's no fucking around when it comes to this stuff here. This is super dangerous. And if you don't have a fume hood or you don't have a mask that will filter out this kind of gas, don't do it. Alright? And you wouldn't do it in a shed like this anyways. If I was gonna, when I might mix this stuff and I got my mask and everything on, it's going outdoors. Because this stuff you don't mess with. Not, like I say, if you do it smart, you can do it, but I'm just telling you, don't do anything stupid. I don't want to see anybody get killed over this information. It's up to you what you do, but don't blame me. Anyways, another thing that I question that people always say is, well, if I got the base metals dissolved, why can't I just melt the gold foils that come out of the first step? You could, but there's two main reasons. The first reason is that this gold plating is not 24 karat, okay? So there's impurities in it. It's mixed with copper or other metals, and it's impure, and you might get 50% or so depending on the grade, but it depends. So it's not going to be 24 karat gold, and that's the main reason why you don't do it. The second reason is that you don't know what is mixed in with this gold. You assume it's copper or tin or something, but there is cases where there could be zinc mixed in with this gold. And you're probably wondering, well, what does that matter? Well, when you heat up zinc, and it creates zinc oxide and it puts off a gas, it too can kill you. Alright? That's the same reason why if you ever seen galvanized steel, galvanized steel is mixed with zinc. It's used so it doesn't corrode and stuff like that. It's great for that use. However, if you break your exhaust and it's made out of galvanized steel, like on your truck or whatever, you can't weld on it, and that's for that reason. If you heat it up, it creates that fume, and it can kill you. Can you weld on it physically? Sure. It's steel. You can melt. People have done it, but the thing is, you're taking the risk, and the same risk applies here. If you melt it down and there's zinc in there, you run the chance of killing yourself. That's the two reasons why people don't do that. Now, I want to explain why this isn't 24 karat. If you look at these fingerboards, like this is a, what is this, a video card of some sort? Audio card? I don't know what it is. Audio card, I guess. You can see the pins. They look pretty good. Not bad. But then you can look at, say, this card, and you look at the fingers. Well, gee, they don't look very good. And they might even be silver or something, I don't know. But the point is that they're not 24 karat gold plating. So that's why you take the second step and you mix the acid with the bleach and you dissolve the gold. Now that we got all that out of the way, once you have that process done, all the gold is dissolved, we filter it out again, and then you add this sodium stuff. Now what this does is it changes the composition of the chemical. I don't know if it eliminates the bleach or what it does. Something around there. I know somebody will chime in and tell me. But it changes the way it reacts, and then gold drops out of solution. That's basically what it does. You filter it out again once the liquid's gone clear. There's no more gold in it. And then you're left with that really nice powder. You heat that up with the torch, and then you have your pure gold bar. And usually with this method, I think it's 2 nines fine, 24 karat. I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that's what I researched and read. Now, so I'm going to go over what this will work on. Now, I've already went over the gold fingers. It works because it gets in behind the copper and it can loosen up the gold. It works that way, and it works really well. What it doesn't work on is gold pins like this. Now, the reason for that is that the hydrochloric acid with the peroxide won't react with gold. And if you look at this pin, it's completely covered in gold except for where I snipped it at the end. No, it would be this end. So that little tiny dot is basically where the acid has to start, and it has to travel up this pin to try to loosen it up. That would take months, probably maybe even years, I don't know, to get this to dissolve them base metals and get in there, because it's just, there's no surface area to work with. So using acid peroxide on this is not going to work. It's just it's just not designed for this. But like boards like this, you got your ram sticks with the little pieces of gold. it'll work fine on this because it'll eat through the board, and then it will eat through the copper, and then it will loosen up the gold. So this, it works. Another thing I haven't really looked into yet is if it will work on like these chips. I believe if we burn these down or we mill them up or we do something, we can so it's just the metal and it ain't this stuff here. I'm pretty sure it would work, and then we would mix it and we would just do the same as anything else. But I have to research this a little bit more. I'm not 100% sure. Another thing we can do with these is like these really nice high grade expensive chips that we have. We can take the black cover off that has the gold bond wire in it, and we can take this plating on the other side and we can recover this as well. So this we can recover and get some extra out of it. So that is the basics of starting into gold recovery. Now I know a lot of people, some people like this method, some people don't. There's a lot to this, guys, and there's a lot that I didn't go over. People on the forums that know more about it, they know like that this is like acid with like CuCl, whatever the compound it makes after doing it. And there's copper still in the acid, and they went on about how you can recover that copper and recover the acid and keep using it, so you don't have to keep buying more and more acid. I don't know how all that works yet. I'm not going into it because I don't want to talk about anything I don't have a clue about, but there is that to go with. The next thing you can do, like say when we go to recover gold from tins like this, is we're going to have to add nitric acid to this side. And then you're going to have to, I believe then you don't need the bleach. You just use nitric acid to dissolve all the base metals. Then you mix nitric acid with hydrochloric acid. It will dissolve gold, and then you add this. I believe that's the other process. It's like aqua regia or whatever the hell it's called, but I don't know anything about that either. This is what I'm focused on. But this is the basics, and I hope everybody found it at least entertaining, if nothing else, if you didn't learn anything. I will go over what little bit I have in here. I've had a crap load of stuff, guys, and I've been working, getting rid of it. Some wire. I do got some more laptops. We will have to go through all these laptops before I do the gold process, because I want as much gold as possible. And if there's any gold in here, generally it's just pins, if any. Same with this. I don't think there's anything else that with gold fingers, but like these slot cards I'll have to chop up first. I'll have to go through any of the cell phones because I'm going to be putting that stuff in there as well. And these chips here. And I got to get back to getting more copper. This is just a mess of stuff. My transistor bucket's full. I gotta get that sold. I'm keeping this aluminum. This is going to be stuff that we're going to melt down in a future video. I really haven't done too much with the whole e-waste stuff, guys. I'm just slowly getting back into it. But yeah, I do want to make some bars of aluminum. I think that's going to be a fun video. And then I got all my like crappy aluminum that I'm just going to sell. My copper bucket. Trying to make some money. And yeah. I gotta get rid of my steel as well. It's getting piled up. That cable. So yeah, guys, and I haven't done anything else on any other stuff. So pretty cool. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a thumbs up. Leave a comment. Maybe I missed something and you want to chew my ass out, go for it. But I hope you enjoyed it. This was a 300 subscriber special. I thank everybody for helping me get to 300 subscribers. You know the deal. We're still going for that 1,000, and there's still lots more to come up once I get a chance to film it and whatnot. You know, dad life. So, but anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed viewing, and as always, thank you for viewing.